Auth66. I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues yesterday that inspired this post. And we were talking about a difficult situation. And, there's always like this moment whenever you have, I don't know what the right word is, like you have beef with somebody or you have an issue or tension with them. And there's like a petty part of you that like wants to imagine all the ways that you could like point out, what they're doing or how you're right or whatever. And I mean, that's a kind of fun thought exercise for like a half a minute. But like if you let it operate in your brain, it's kind of a waste of energy. I mean, I think it's okay to have your feelings and like move on. But I think we need to be realistic about it. Like, I'll give you some examples. Like when I was in photography, there'd be this thing where, you'd find a really cool location and, you'd post it. You post your pictures and you're like super proud. And then someone goes and copies you. They go and do the same thing and maybe in a different way, but like they go to the same location. They're like, oh, that looks really cool. I'm going to go there too. Sometimes though, the person goes to the exact same location, puts the people in the exact same poses and, goes around the same time of day. And you can tell they're just really copying your work. And it's kind of annoying, right? Especially when you're working to be original. But I think, it's kind of like short-sighted, because realistically, it's just like music. The same 4 chords are found in all different kinds of songs, and there's a pattern there. Everybody wants to believe that they're innovating and doing something new. But if you're doing something new, you're doing it. And I mean, that's got to be enough, right? But there's also like a commentary on like, if you focus on other people, and what they're doing, you're going to get kind of wrapped up in that versus in keeping yourself fresh and relevant. And also you're going to waste your energy on things that don't really serve you. And I'm not saying I'm great at it. I've obviously gotten caught up in that point in the past, but in this situation, I talked with my colleague and I was like, just look at it like karma points. Not that they mean anything. There's no actual tally, but like your mental headspace is where you keep that tally. And it's something that I'm trying to live by, the idea of it's not good karma. It's not good to put that out there. If I would have had a problem, let's say I had like 4 friends, and if I would have had a problem with a friend, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I was much less mature, maybe, I probably would have gone to like, if I had a problem with friend A, I probably would have gone to friend C. Now I'm getting to this point in my life where, if I was the friend that somebody had a problem with, I don't really think I'd want my other friends to come and talk to other people, but I want them to come talk to me. And then once we'd had a chance to talk, if I hadn't still let it go, I would just, I would either figure out how to move on away from the friendship or whatever, but I would involve the other friends because it's not good karma. It's not fair to them. They didn't ask for any of it. And it's just kind of an awkward place to be, right? And I think about that now, when it comes to building teams and when I think about working in workplaces and, how to be healthy while doing that. And a lot of that has to do with, being able to let things go and depersonalize and realize that, there's nothing good that comes from perpetuating any of the drama. I mean, if you need time to process, have your safe people you can talk to, but they probably shouldn't be people that are involved in the situation. They should be removed. And hopefully you have people in your life that can be objective, right? Because if not, then, write it down. But always try to think of it from the perspective of karma points, right? Am I putting good things out into the world by doing this? Am I helping myself by doing this? If you are, talking with the intent to understand better yourself and understand maybe what you will allow in your life, those are all great intents. If you're just talking to people just for the sake of, involving someone else and sharing the drama with you, then I think that's something that really needs to be reflected. And I think we need to be going, if I'm going to do this action just to get back at somebody, just to make them feel something negative because I felt something negative, then we're just adding more of that into the world. And I don't really know if that helps. I mean, you know, back when I was thinking about photography and copying, I mean, if I'd worried about that and I was protectionist about my work and I didn't share things or didn't share photos because I was worried about somebody would go to a location that I'd been, then I probably wouldn't get more new clients too, because people wouldn't see that work, right? So I think we kind of just have to trust people to make the decisions that they make based on what they see in front of them. And if authenticity isn't something that's at the high list of their values, then they probably won't care. And I mean, that's fine. We all get to choose our values. For me, authenticity is high. So I always, you know, try to look for that in the people that I surround myself with. And I think that's kind of why I look at this idea of karma points is important, because people who are trying to be authentic will also question themselves. They'll also be like, okay, you know, was I right in this scenario? Could there have been a way where I was misinterpreted? And I mean, that's kind of important. It's a kind of a version of an accountability. And I think, you know, not to sound like an old person, because I'm not old, I like to say that all the time gives you perspective. What we do when we're 20 versus what we do in our 40s is very different. And I think if you are, you know, a younger person listening to this video, I don't know how old anybody is that watches this stuff, I would say that to you is just remember that if you put out into the world that you are willing to trade on other people's misfortunes, or are willing to take your internal hurt and hurt other people with it, you are communicating a message to the people around you about how much they can trust you. And that's a tough lesson to learn when you lose friends and people and trust in your life. So yeah, that's my little ramble for today. See you tomorrow.